often leads to trouble. We are all quite mad here. We'll fit right in. It is but a simple gift from us to you. Do you want to go back? You were a different person then. is running out.
Check. Oh, good evening. How are you all this evening? Well, we're really excited to have so many brand new potential band students in the house tonight. We're going to go ahead and give you some information and get you out of here real quick. My name is Kim Brewer. I am at LB Williams.
I'm Mary Krell, and I'm at Longfellow.
I'm Hannah Waylander. I'm at Gertie Bell Rogers.
I'm Ryan Staley. I'm just switching positions with Mr. Van Persum. I'm now at the middle school, and so I kind of gave it away what this guy does, but I'll pass the mic anyways.
I'm Joel Van Persum, and I switched with Staley, and now I'm at the high school this year.
So the goals for our meeting tonight is to provide information and questions that you may have. We're going to help your child pick an instrument, and any one of us up here can help and answer questions, and we'll answer any questions that you may have.
So we'll start right away with purchasing your instruments. We really encourage you to purchase from a reputable dealer. This would be a brick and mortar old school music store that you could go to. If something happens to the instrument, you can take it in and see a face and a real human. There's still something great about that personal connect that verifies that that instrument is going to be in good and working condition. I'm not saying that you can't buy online. However, kind of that, would you buy a car that way? Would you buy a car on Amazon and expect it to be a really high quality vehicle that you would drive around? Or, so I've had a French horn show up before, and it turned out to be miniature sized. So we really encourage you to go with a reputable dealer. Otherwise, if you are buying online, I know that I do, and Ms. Wheeler, I think Mrs. Krell as well, you're welcome to bring the horn to us. Is this something that I can buy? Is this something that I need to get in and get fixed? And we'll be very honest with you about it, because we want your students to be in a playable horn so that they feel successful. There's nothing worse than coming to your first lesson, get everything put together, and then the horn doesn't play. And unfortunately, we've all seen that happen, and we want to prevent that from being the case. So again, if you have any doubt, just reach out to any of us and we'll help you. Or you can take any instrument to our reputable dealers we have on stage, both Poplars and Instrument Music, who are here tonight. And we just want to warn you about being aware of the ISO phenomenon. So if you're looking up an instrument online and it comes with a pair of white gloves, do not purchase that. Those are instrument-shaped objects, ISOs. It looks like an instrument. It might play for a week or two, but once it breaks, these stores will not repair them, and quite often they're non-fixable horns, and we don't want you to be out the money. So a saxophone, online, brand new, is not going to cost $100, unfortunately. Right now, while we have them in this moment, I'd like to invite both Poplars and Schmidt to come up and let them speak real quick. Roland, do you want to come say something?
Good evening. My name is Roland Beard, and I'm with Poplars Music. I'm the road rep that stops here every Monday on a weekly route. I'll tell you a little bit about our plan. It starts out at a 3-month for $35. So you pay the $35 tonight, you're set for 3 months. You don't have to pay any additional fees in the future until your rental period at 3 months is done. Once the 3-month period is done, which will be December 2nd, your monthly payments start. Your monthly payment is based on the price of the instrument. So if you're renting like a flute or clarinet, it's going to be right in that $35 price range. If you're renting a trumpet or a trombone, it's going to be about $40. If you're renting a saxophone or a baritone or a horn or some of those more expensive instruments, it's going to be about $60 to $70 per month. The nice part about our plan is every penny does apply to purchase. So you're not losing any money, there's no interest. Another nice thing is it's a month to month. So if you decide the rental isn't working out, you just return the instrument, you let me know. I stop at the school, pick up the instrument, return it, the payments stop. We also have what's called a repair and maintenance plan for $8 a month. we cover anything that goes wrong with the instrument. It's like an insurance policy, and it covers it, like say you drop it or bump it or whatever, it's still going to cover that. You can also switch instruments. So let's say you start on a trumpet and you decide that it's not working out, you want to switch to a trombone, the money will switch over to the other instrument. If you don't want to decide tonight, you can go to our website, popularsmusic.com. I have flyers if you'd like to get a flyer. You can do the online rental, pay everything. I'll bring it out next Monday. It's going to be my first scheduled stop, and I can bring the instrument out and leave it at your school. I think I covered any questions that you might have for me. All right, thank you.
All right, and we're going to have Julie from Schmidt Music come up. Hi there. My name's Julie. I work for Schmidt Music. Raise your hand if you get to play an instrument. Higher. You're excited about it, right? Awesome. Okay, who gets to play the saxophone? Cool. All right, can I talk to your moms and dads for just a minute? $5 to get you started tonight. Payments are about $35 a month, a couple bucks less, a couple bucks more, depending on the instrument. You get a free book and stand with us tonight. If you have more questions than that, come see me. And then in addition to that, we do have some musical instruments available for student rental. So if you are not able to purchase an instrument, but your student would like to participate in band, please just talk to one of their teachers, myself, Ms. Maylander, Mrs. Krell, and we will help get your student with an instrument ready to go. I'm going to pass it over to Mrs. Krell now.
The flute, one of my favorite instruments. The first thing to know is not everyone can make a sound on the flute. And they can blame their parents because it's the shape of their mouth and their teeth and their lips and the size of them. So tonight, if you want to play the flute, I have brought some, and we'll have you play just the mouthpiece if you have not done so already in class. Please, I'll be down in front here and you can do that with me. Braces are not a huge, big factor. I chose the flute when I was in the 4th grade because it was small and easy to carry. I watched my sisters be drummers and I went, I don't want to do that. So you just never know why reasons people choose the instruments they do.
So your clarinet and saxophone, very similar to the recorder, the fingerings of the recorder, which we do in 3rd and 4th grade. Braces are not an issue. Clarinet was my instrument choice when I was a 5th grader, and I had braces all the way into high school, so not a problem at all. Saxophones can be a little more high maintenance and a little bit more expensive, but if you're passionate about it, then go for it.
Additional expenses with the clarinet and saxophone is you will have to purchase reeds. So that's a piece of wood that goes on the mouthpiece, and so there is that expense that maintains. If your student takes care of their instrument and their reeds, a handful should last majority of the year. Before you go purchase a box of reeds, talk to us and find out what size specifically that we'd like you to get. So switching into brass instruments, all brass instruments, you use your lips to buzz to make the sound. The size of your lips can affect which of the brass instruments you play. I myself have fuller lips, which means I'm not a great French horn player. However, baritone and trombone, I can figure out pretty well. So things like braces as well can make an issue for a smaller size mouthpiece, trumpet, or French horn. With that said, I know many trumpet players who've had braces. Once the braces come off, you essentially reteach your lips how to play it, and so it is very doable. And for the additional expense, you would have valve oil and slide oil, and a bottle can last most of the year for 5th grade.
The Mitchell Band Program recommends 2 years of piano before they start their percussion instrument, and we recommend that the students are on their 2nd level of their piano book. It will make things easier. They are required to play both the drum and the mallets, and I start on mallets, and we don't start the snare drum for at least 2 to 3 weeks, and then we'll switch over to snare drum.
I also wanted to mention about brass instruments for baritone and French horn. Those, if that's something your student is interested in, please speak to us. We do have some French horn and baritones those are another one that can be a little bit of a higher cost, and we do maintain school instruments through the program for that.
So band lessons. Lessons will be held during the school day. Lessons will begin as soon as we can get them all scheduled. So I know for me, I will probably take most of next week to schedule that, because I know I'll have some people sign up, not tonight, and they might sign up tomorrow. I might have some people sign up the next day that weren't able to make it. So please just make sure you get signed up as soon as possible so that we can get going on those schedules, because it does take a bit of time to do that. Lessons will begin as soon as we are scheduled. A note will be sent home with you of when that lesson will be. I also sometimes send out emails as well, and I think we all have different like communication apps and things. Like I know I use Remind, and do you?
Like I would just always in general from this point encourage you to make sure your school district email is current. And that's just like a mom hack as you're moving into middle school and high school, because that's how your teachers will reach out to you, is with that school email. So utilizing a current email address, we will also share those, we'll share links and practice links and all of that way as well.
Weekly practice sheet will be sent home each week once we start lessons. I know I do. Do you guys both do practice sheets? Yeah. Okay, and it's basically just, it's got each day of the week on there. I write down what is expected to be done that week, and then your job, kids, students, is to write in the minutes practice each day. Monday you practice 20 minutes, write it down. Tuesday you practice 15 minutes, write it down. At the end of the week before their next lesson, there's a signature that we want parents to sign just to kind of give us that confirmation of, yep, what they wrote down is what they actually practiced. You want more?
Yes, and so if your child doesn't practice, still sign that sheet that they didn't practice, and then write on there, they didn't practice. And so it's an accountability for them. And children, you need to be the ones writing your minutes in, and don't worry, we'll tell you that, practice it in your lessons. And it's just, we're not trying to be the practice police, but we are going to try to teach your children study habits and study skills, and allotting a little bit of time each day for some practice, 10 to 15 minutes a day. I would say like, hey, when's mom cooking supper? That's a great time to go sit and do it. And then I'm just gonna say my other little spiel, which is, I would encourage you right now to be thinking of a place in your home that your child can practice. And I want you to think of that from the mindset of an 11-year-old. So if you're asking your child to go practice in the garage, is it a punishment garage, or is it a, this is your awesome practice space that we have set up for you as such? Just saying, because it's a thing. And your child will want to play for you at some point. Please say okay. Please listen to them. And hopefully you will recognize hot cross buns or jolly old St. Nicholas, and tell them how proud you are of them, because they are trying something they've never done before from scratch. And we're really proud of them for just being here and taking that first step tonight. We're also going to have group band around Thanksgiving. That's another one of those, we will email you and tell you when that's going to be happening. All students will need a Tradition of Excellence book for their specific instrument. Please, when you purchase it, if you are buying this online from somewhere else, make sure that it says the instrument that your child is playing. So if you're playing trumpet, don't buy a flute book. Also, percussionists will have to additionally purchase a fresh approach to mallet percussion, and both of our stores do also have access to getting that for you as well tonight. And this is the same thing.
What's the most important thing to parents to do? Encourage your children to practice. No matter what it is, you've got to practice. I know that I was given a guitar years ago in high school, but I only picked it up about 15 minutes this year, and 15 minutes another year, and this year I went, nope, I'm going to do it. I'm going to learn how to play Sweet Home Alabama, no matter what. So every night I have, for the last month, played almost every night. My guitar. And I don't just play one page, I go back. I think this is important. And start at the beginning, and I play 9 to 10 pages a night. Then I go the next day, it's maybe 2 through 11. And then I gradually add a page. So if they say, I'm done, well, we only get 15 minutes with them, so we only assign this much. But maybe they can start at the beginning of the book and practice. If they have band songs, they practice their band song every night. The only way to get good is to practice.
Along with that, there's going to be a time where they're going to look at you and say, it's hard, I don't want to do it anymore. So this is another great life lesson. Not everything is easy. And there will be a time where learning their instrument will be easy, and then there's going to be a time where it's going to get really hard. And I guarantee when they say, I don't want to do band anymore, ask them, are you having a really hard lesson this week, or are you struggling with what you're playing? Because 9 out of 10 times, the reason they want to quit is because they've hit the wall. And so we need to help them through that. And a lot of times, if you communicate that to us, we're probably already seeing it on our end, and we'll give you some advice and some different things. Those happen pretty commonly October, like right before group band, but that October to November switch, because they know a bunch of stuff. I know how to play. Now I'm bored. Well, don't worry. Group band is just around the corner, and then it gets hard again. So that's kind of one time. The other time is about that February into March, and they're going to get that schlump again. And then the revigoration is our group band that we will be having at the fourth quarter. Okay. So if you purchase your instrument and take it home tonight, so we've started doing something the last few years, and honestly, it's fueled because your children learn things off of the internet and do them. Why? Because I also do that. I fixed my minivan years ago by watching YouTube. So on my website, mrsbsmusicclass.com, I have a band page on there, and once your child has their instrument, you can find a playlist that's put together for how to put the horn together, how to make first sounds. And I would say before you allow your child to open it on their own, have them watch the first 2 videos for their instrument. Watch it with them. They're each about 5 minutes long or less. Here's how we take it out of the case carefully. Here is how we put it together. Then go back to the first one and have them start over and watch it and do it by themselves and have them practice that way. And what we have found is that playlist will get them up through playing their first few notes. The students that are doing that will come into their first lesson already be able to make sounds and be able to put their horn together, and they're excited and motivated. So again, if you're using a school horn, as long as we know that, I have been allowing my students to take it home the weekend before band starts. So they can be watching the videos ahead of time until they have their instrument and kind of gearing up for that as well. So we will also email that out with all of your information, and I think it's in the packet. So mrsbsmusicclass.com. And welcome to Band Preview Night.
So on Friday, September 19th, we are including you. You get to march over with the high school band and hang out and cheer with them during the halftime performance down on the field. We started this long time ago? We don't know. It was a long time ago. So a while ago. But it's such a cool opportunity because it makes such a difference from watching the show up in the stands than being right on the field with them, with the horns blaring right in your face. So if you can make it to this game, I highly encourage you to do that. We'll be sending out more information closer to the date. We'll get some fancy flyers and all that jazz, but highly recommend putting this date in your calendars because it is awesome.
We'll meet here 45 minutes to an hour before the band marches over. We'll teach them some basic marching moves, and then we'll march over so you get into the band free, the kids do. And then make sure that you, after the band performance, know how your child is getting home, and we'll send more information on that.
That's a lot of fun because they get to meet the kids who they're going to kind of look up to, through their middle school years. They'll get to see those high school students, and the high schoolers take a lot of pride in saying, hey, I went to your elementary school, and they show them the horn, and so it's a great way for us to start off our year. We have the link here, in case you haven't seen that come across your emails yet. You can open your photo, or your camera on any phone, hold it up to the QR code, and it should be able to go right to the website to register. Otherwise, it is also in your packets as well. It's also on the Mrs. B's music class website. If you go to that, there's a link, and you fill out the registration form there. And once you have that done, you're free to go. We're going to be up here with questions. We're going to have the music stores set up for you to visit with them. And we just ask that you try to have this form filled out, ideally by next Friday. So give us the next week or so we can start putting some things together. And anybody have questions here in the house before we're ready to call it a night?
I do have one more thing to add before we take questions. If you know you are probably going to purchase an instrument through one of their vendors on stage, highly recommend doing that tonight. Just so you get everything covered and we're signed up and we're ready to go and we can get into that scheduling. Questions?
We work it out with the classroom teachers. Yeah, so like the teachers, that's why it takes so while, is because like, and I won't speak for them. For me, it takes 5 to 10 editions of me like shifting children around, and so we take them out of when the classroom teachers have available. So it depends on each student and each teacher and what we've agreed is like the right time for them. So try not, I mean, like we may have some that are like before school, and like all of those are if your kid is not a bus rider, and like if we've pre-worked it out that you're okay. Some go at the end of the school day, but we really want them during the school day too. We don't want to come in and stay late and teach extra lessons. So we're going to try to fit your kids into doing that between the 8 and 3. Now, with that said, our group instruction does run outside of the school day. So at LBW, our 5th grade group band, that one that starts in November, is on Wednesdays from 3 to 3:30. So instead of dismissing school at 3:15, you would dismiss at 3:30. We tell you this a few weeks ahead of time so you can work out the travel plan home for your child for those. And it just maintains, you know, that Wednesday, all school year is band day. Yours is
7:45 in the morning till 8:15.
on what day? Tuesday. On Tuesdays.
I think I'm switching mine this year. I used to have to do it in the mornings because I had middle school musical rehearsal after school, but this year I'm not in charge of that. So I might do after school, possibly Thursdays, but that's later down the road, and we'll all separately let you know exactly when those dates will be. So again, just make sure you're checking your emails and all of that.
They're 20-minute lessons. All right, well, thank you. Oh, yes? For like the lessons, we work them out during the school day. If the group band, that's why we're notifying you tonight. So yeah, it's 2 months from now before they start that. So like if you're an LBW kid and they ride the bus, on Wednesdays, you'll have to have an alternative for them at 3:30 because the bus typically leaves at 3:15. So I know that the white bus in town, some kids carpool with each other. There's also the new after-school program, so that potentially could be an alternative that you sign them up for that on Wednesdays as well. It's not listen, if I could teach it between 8 and 3, we would do it, but we are told when we're allowed to teach it, and that's what we were told, so. If you have an issue with the busing, I would encourage you to reach out to your school's principal about that. All right, any other questions? All right, have a good night. So, Bill, if we can get the curtain up, and we'd love for you to come visit with our music store techs. You're welcome to come up with any of us for questions.